Mm, bro. Damn, that one's hard.
There are so many people with their own stories and philosophies. We all walk our own paths and go through different things in our lifetime. What bonds us is when we take a second to slow down and relate to others through their emotions, experiences, and wisdom. Hello, everyone. My name is Esteban. My goal is for us to learn from the many lives and the many feelings of others. I will ask these people random questions which they have no prior knowledge of, with the intent of engaging their opinions and thoughts, which will provide a perspective of truth and knowledge to all of us.
So my name is Crystal. Full name Aponte, Crystal Aponte, and I mostly use Instagram. My Instagram handle is underscore Crystal Aponte. That's Crystal.
What makes you the most angry?
What makes me the most angry? Um, I think when my kids don't listen to me, that gets me really angry. Like I get super triggered because I hate repeating myself.
Do you feel like that also translates into relationships with adults?
How so? How would that? What do you mean?
Well, okay, that's a good point that that's with your kids, but what makes you angry with adults?
With adults? Um, I guess if they're being rude, real nasty, the New York lifestyle, always in a rush. So if someone pushes me or like nudges me, things like that.
What is the biggest complaint you have in life?
Biggest complaint. Not enough money. Seriously.
Have you ever experienced a moment in life that left you traumatized? If so, what was it, and or what did you learn from it?
So, a moment that left me traumatized. A moment that's kind of hard to shift through. I think one of the memories that comes to mind. So I grew up in foster care, and one of the memories it still sticks with me. That's why I have like trust issues. Is my biological mom not showing up to the visits. So I would be waiting, and they would literally like an hour would pass, 2 hours, and I remember this feeling of like joy and then sadly like disappointment. So I think the lesson that I learned through that, which is not a good one, is just like don't trust anyone.
Have you? Do you feel like that's how do I put this? I think that a lot of us have that same insecurity of trust, but do you feel like it's healthy not to trust anyone?
No, it's definitely not healthy. I go to therapy and I learn through my job too and different ways to cope, but it's still even in my 30s I'm still learning how to trust and open up. So, but I know you have to trust
What gets you out of bed most or every morning?
my children because I have to get them to school. Um, but it's mostly them.
What gives you hope?
What gives me hope? I don't know how to answer that because I'm like I'm kind of a pessimist. Like my cup is always like half empty because I always expect the worst. So I'm not sure how to answer that question, to be
Okay,
honest.
yeah, that's an answer though. What do you consider is your best feature?
Like physical or
That's a good
what do you
question.
mean?
It could be either one. However you want to answer that.
Best feature. Maybe physically, my eyes, and me in general, that I think I have dark humor, but I think that comes from trauma. So I don't know.
What is an experience everyone should go through at least once in their lifetime, in your opinion?
An experience. There's so many things that I haven't experienced yet, so maybe traveling isn't a great experience.
What do you think is the biggest sign of love?
And the biggest sign of love. Hmm. I think when you love someone, even with their flaws, you still accept them and you don't give up on them because it's so easy to. So I think maybe that.
What is something you feel really guilty about?
Bro. It's something I feel guilty. Okay, I get a lot of mom guilt because as much as I preach about communication and comprehension, I definitely do lose my shit. I hope it's okay to curse, but yes. I do lose it. I always have to like circle back, like, I apologize because I do believe that adults should apologize to children because you can't always, like, adults make mistakes too. And I always used to think like I never got an apology as a child from an adult, so I feel like that's very important. I think that's one of my biggest things that I get guilty about.
Who did you look up to growing up and why?
Mm. Um, I've gotten asked that recently, and I could not answer that because I didn't have, like I said, I grew up in foster care, so I didn't have anyone, I didn't have a safe space, like a safe person. So it was kind of myself because I had a sister who was older than me. She's 15 years older than me. You would think I would look up to her maybe, but no, because she didn't lead by example. So not anybody, no one. My motto has always been like learn from others' mistakes so that you don't do it. Like is everybody's like, oh, you learn from your mistakes, but mine is you learn from others' mistakes. So I'm very attentive and I'm very observant. So
What has been the proudest moment in your life so far?
hmm, proudest moment. I think when I complete something, because sometimes I procrastinate so much. So anything I complete, that's a proud moment.
What is a bad habit you have or have had that is hard to change or was hard to change?
A bad habit. Sweets is a bad habit. I think compulsive shopping, like not needing something and I buy it because I'm stressed or just because I'm like, I want it, but I don't really need it. So that's a bad habit.
Do you have a tradition that you love and cherish?
And tradition. I kind of stopped doing traditions. I think maybe Christmas. Um, you know, well, not, I'm not sure if everyone does that, but it's like since I do have children, I do wait for the 25th in the morning to open the gifts because I know some people do it the night before. But since they're kids, I don't know. I'm like, I feel bad. I don't want to do it at night. In the morning is when, they wake up all excited and they open their presents. So that's one tradition that I've still held on to.
Did you have that tradition growing up?
When I got adopted, yes. Yeah.
I don't have this question here, but I do want to ask you, what does it feel like to be adopted?
Okay, my adoption was a kinship adoption. So a kinship adoption is when a person from like a family member adopts you. So in my case, it was my aunt from my mother's side, which is her was her sister. But in my case, unfortunately, it was not a healthy environment. So went from one bad environment to another bad environment. Like, so, and I kind of dealt with it. I was because I got to still be close to family, so I didn't want to keep going in the system. And then who knows how bad it would have ended. And they could have actually separated my siblings. So, yeah.
If someone came from the same type of life that you did with foster homes and adoptions and stuff like that, but find themselves struggling in life, what would you advise?
My advice, I guess, to just keep going because there is going to be times you you don't want to get up, you don't want to get off your bed. I do struggle with depression. Um, and my family struggles with addiction. So in my case, that was another aspect of the foster care and adoption. But just to keep going, not to give up and find healthy relationships. You'll definitely find red flags that you'll know when they're not healthy and try to stay away from them, even though sometimes we end up getting sucked into it. Like, try to um, get out of that because that only holds you back. Um, hmm. Well, like I said, to keep going, and whether you are spiritual, religious, or not, just find the strength within yourself to keep going and to push for something, whatever that something is for you.